To start off with, I just want to tell you a little bit about the disability or health module that we're very excited to launch today. It covers inclusive recruitment, data and supported procedures, and in-work support. If you'd like to sign up to that, I'm going to pop the link in the chat for you. You can also sign up to other modules that we're looking to support with, which are mental health, musculoskeletal, menopause, environmental impact, and line manager support. Okay, I'm just going to put that chat in. I think Laura's done that for me already, so that's brilliant. You can sign up if you've got more than 5 employees. If you are based in the West Midlands, you can sign up if you've already registered to Thrive at Work to complete a different level. It doesn't matter. You can still sign up to complete a module. So feel free to add your details there if you'd like to. And I'm just going to hand over to Laura May now. Thank you, Laura May.
Thanks, Mitzi. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's lovely to see a full house virtually today. I'm here to talk to you about the Disability Confidence Scheme and what it can mean for your business. So I am the Senior Employment Officer at the Disability Resource Centre. You may or may not have heard of us before, but we are a charity based here in the West Midlands. We're based in Birmingham. I always say, imagine the flight path, we're right under it. We operate across the wider West Midlands, predominantly in Birmingham and Solihull, but we cover sort of Dudley, Coventry, Warwickshire. And what we do is we deliver a service to disabled individuals or those with long-term health conditions, such as support with benefits, support with employment, support with training. If you're disabled or have a long-term health condition and need support, you can come to us. We started in 1992, and since then we've supported well over 100,000 disabled individuals, and we are a disabled people's user-led organisation, which means we're run by disabled people for disabled people. 80% of our board, 50% of our workforce, and all of our volunteers will class themselves as either disabled or having a long-term health condition. Because of this, we have a really unique perspective. We can bring our lived experience to supporting individuals and help our clients, but also help businesses. So, as I said, we do a lot of work with clients, but we also do a lot of work with businesses to support businesses to become disability confident. The Disability Confidence Scheme was an initiative that was developed by the government to encourage employers to recruit, retain and develop people who have disabilities and long-term health conditions. The scheme effectively is looking to help businesses become more inclusive and improve how they would recruit, retain and attract disabled workers. It also looks at changing those attitudes around disability in the workplace. In my role as a senior employment officer, I sadly still get it said to me that, oh no, I can't hire a disabled person. And my response is always, why not? Tell me why not? Because really there should be no reason why you can't hire someone who has a long-term health condition or disability. We want to ensure that disabled people have the opportunity to fulfil their potential. So all in all, the scheme is looking to create a more inclusive workforce across the United Kingdom, and it provides employers with the guidance and recognition they need to effectively support and employ individuals who have disabilities. Now, I'll go through some of the facts with you. You may or may not have heard of the 2-tick scheme previously. I always remember it was on the bottom of all my NHS letters. But the Disability Confidence Scheme actually was launched in 2016 to replace that scheme. And it looked at providing a more comprehensive approach to disability inclusion in the workplace. Now, since the scheme was launched, around 7 in 10 employers will agree that recruitment and retention of an employee who is or has become disabled has had a positive impact on staff morale. And 2/3 of employers that are on the scheme agreed that by joining the scheme, it's had a positive impact on their organisation. Now, we know as of 2023, over 20,000 organisations across the United Kingdom had signed up to the Disability Confidence Scheme. I always say the scheme isn't just one where you sign up and that's it, you get your accreditation and that's it. You advertise that you're disability confident. It's much more than that. It provides you with resources and guidance to help you understand what it is to become disability confident. What does it mean for you as an organisation, for your staff, but also for the wider community that you operate in. And you also get guidance on things like how to create an inclusive workplace, how to access government support, and how to improve workplace culture, which is something we all look to do in our organisations. Some of the benefits, I could talk to you all day. I could talk to you all day about the benefits of joining the scheme, but I've sort of compressed it down into 4 bullet points for you this afternoon. By being recognised as being disability confident, you're improving your brand's reputation. So you're showing individuals that you are an inclusive employer, and you're more likely to attract customers if you're inclusive. You can also access a broader talent pool. So by being disability confident, by being inclusive and willing to hire someone who has a long-term health condition or disability, you will attract more individuals to apply for roles. Now, something I always say as someone who has a disability herself is that disabled people live in a world that isn't necessarily designed for us. We have to be adaptive, we have to be innovative, and we have to be creative. And what that means is we have skills and perspectives that we can bring into the workplace that are beneficial for all around us. Another benefit of joining the scheme is having improved employee retention rates. If you're in a supportive workplace, you're going to have higher employee satisfaction and higher retention rates, which means lower recruitment costs, which I think all organisations endeavour to have. And finally, by being disability confident, you also remain legally compliant. So you're not opening yourself up to any discrimination claims. You're staying relevant with the disability discrimination laws and regulations. Now, what I'm going to do, because we haven't got a lot of time this afternoon, sadly, is I'm going to give you what I call the whistle-stop tour of the Disability Confidence Scheme. The scheme has 3 levels. Each level has to be achieved before you move up to the next level. So after this presentation, if you sit there and you think, I want to go to level 3, I want to be a leader, that's absolutely fantastic. But first you have to go through level 1 and level 2. And you'll see why as I go through the presentation. When you achieve each level, you get it for 3 years. So if you choose to become level 1, you have that accreditation for 3 years. What it may mean is that at the end of the 3 years, you can choose to renew, or you can choose to start progressing and move up a level. Level 1, as you can see now, is Disability Confident Committed. To be Disability Confident Committed, you have to agree to the 5 commitments that you see listed on the screen. They are having inclusive and accessible recruitment. So ensuring that your recruitment doesn't, it attracts as many people as possible. Sorry, the words have just gone out of my head. But ensuring when you are recruiting, do you have your application form available in various different formats? If you have an online form, can people apply through video? Can they apply by letter, by a paper application form? Can you make it available in Braille, for example? The second commitment is how you communicate your vacancies. When you have a vacancy, are you just putting it on one job board, or are you just putting it on your own website and expecting people to find that job? Or are you actually opening it up across a variety of different job boards, so getting that job seen by as many different individuals as possible? Once you've got to the interview stage, commitment 3 is that you offer an interview to a disabled person if they meet the minimum requirements for that role. Enough said. Commitment 4 is that you provide reasonable adjustments. Now, reasonable adjustments are something that actually all employers should be providing under the Equality Act of 2010. And if you've got any questions about reasonable adjustments, please drop them in the chat, because I don't want to cover it too much if everyone knows what they are. But equally, if you're not sure, drop us a question and I'll answer it at the end. Commitment 5 is that you support existing employees. So what would you do in the event of an existing employee developing a long-term health condition or disability? How do you support existing employees to develop themselves in the workplace? Things like that. You have to agree to these 5 commitments. There's no ifs or buts about it. But once you've agreed to these 5 commitments, you then identify at least one activity that will make a difference to disabled individuals. Now, this could be things like offering work experience, offering job shadowing. A big one at the moment is if you're open to offering supported internships, or it could be saying that you will offer paid employment to an individual who has a disability. Once you've identified your action, you submit your form to the Department of Work and Pensions, and you will then receive the pink badge that you see on the screen, the Disability Confident Committed badge. And as I said, you have that for 3 years. Level 2, as we work up the levels, is Disability Confident Employer. To become a Disability Confident employee, you need to look inwardly and self-assess your organisation around how you get people for your business, but also how you keep and develop the staff that you do have. So what you do is you complete a self-assessment template around talking about those commitments, talking about those activities that we discussed in level 1. Once you've completed that self-assessment and submitted it, you would then receive your Disability Confident Employer badge, which is the purple badge that you see on the screen. I always say, disability confident employers, you're recognised as going the extra mile to ensuring disabled people are getting a fair chance in the workplace. Now, level 3 is Disability Confident Leader. This is the highest level on the scheme. To be a Disability Confident Leader, you will be acting as a champion, both in your local community, but also in the business community that you operate in. You take that self-assessment that you completed at level 2 and you give it to somebody outside of your organisation. It can't be an employee of the Department of Work and Pensions, but it could be another disability confident leader, such as ourselves. It could be a disabled staff member, a disability charity or community group that operate locally. You give them the self-assessment and you say, can you validate what we've said in our self-assessment? Are we doing what we say we're doing effectively? You also provide a short narrative on what you have been doing or what you're going to do to support your status to become a disability confident leader. This can be things like statements such as, as a disability confident leader, I will encourage my supply chain to join the disability confidence scheme. As a disability confident leader, I will ensure that sorry, I've got baby brain today. I do apologise. That you ensure that you're giving equal opportunities to all in your organisation, that you're inclusive. You provide that narrative. You also do have to confirm at this stage that you are employing someone who has a disability or long-term health condition. And then you report on subjects such as disability, mental health and wellbeing through the voluntary reporting framework. So you collect all that information together, you submit that, and then you'd receive your Disability Confident Leader, which is the green badge that you see there. As I said, you get that for 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, if you've achieved leader status, you don't have to then go back to the bottom. You can just complete the renewal process to stay a Disability Confident Leader. So I couldn't remember if this slide was in here. As I touched on earlier, reasonable adjustments are a subject that you will hear a lot when speaking to disabled individuals in the workplace. But what they are is they're effectively changes or accommodations that an employer will make to ensure that people with disabilities are not at a substantial disadvantage compared to others. As I alluded to earlier, these adjustments are required under the Equality Act 2010, which eliminates discrimination and promotes equality. If you find that a disabled individual, whether that's a customer or an employee, cannot access your service because of a barrier and they are put at a substantial disadvantage, you need to consider making reasonable adjustments. The term there is reasonable. So what one organisation can do, another organisation may not be able to do. The best thing is to have a conversation, talk to the employee who needs the reasonable adjustments. I've put some examples here. So things like offering a screen reader and providing training on how to use it if someone has a visual impairment, adjusting a work schedule if someone has medical appointments for a chronic health condition. I always say this one's really important because the medical service, the NHS, they only tend to work Monday to Friday, and we all tend to work Monday to Friday. So often appointments will come up during work time. And when you get that appointment, if you've been waiting 18 months for it, the last thing you want is to not be able to go because your employer can't accommodate that. Other examples are things like installing a hearing loop in a meeting room to assist employees who have hearing impairments. This can also benefit customers if you're a customer-facing organisation. Providing quiet workspaces for individuals who have anxiety or sensory processing disorders. Allowing a student extra time if they have dyslexia to complete an exam, things like that. Now, as I say, I've briefly gone over everything today. I'm coming to the end of my presentation. Just to give you an overview of some of the services we offer to businesses, as a charity, we can come in and we can help you look at your recruitment practice. So if you want to become disability confident, the first thing you need to do is look at your recruitment practice, and we can do that and help you become more inclusive. Once we've done that, we can actually help you with recruitment support, so things like job matching or promoting your vacancies. We do offer disability confident employer packages, so we can support you through levels 1, 2, and 3 of the scheme. We also deliver disability equality training, which can be bespoke to your organisation. And finally, we do offer accessibility audits, so we can come in and we can look at how accessible your organisation is. Is it inclusive? And we don't just look at it from a physical point of view. We'd look at things like your website, how you answer the phone to individuals, things like that. So I'm going to open it up now because we've got a bit of time. Has anybody got any questions?